The engine is still stopped.
For launch. GC, go. Guidance, go. Fido, go. Prop, go. GNC, go. Max, go. Eagle, go. Ecom,
go. Pending final steps to cabin link check.
3, 2, 1.
Is there anyone here that would like to communicate with us? Can you give us a sign?
Welcome to the Rift Nation Network, the RNN, putting a slide in your glide and a dip in your hip. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe. With shows throughout the week, you can find us at Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and more. Everything you could want, everything you can need right here, right now. From the paranormal to the supernatural. From comedy to the spiritual. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
It's showtime, folks!
Podcast may contain material that some listeners may find sensitive, offensive, or disturbing. We strive to create respectful and informative content, but topics discussed may include mature themes such as violence, explicit language, or controversial subjects, triggering content including discussions related to mental health, trauma, or other sensitive issues, explicit language. Occasionally, our guests or hosts may use strong language. While we aim to handle these topics with care and empathy, we encourage listeners to exercise discretion. If you find any content distressing, consider skipping or seeking support. Remember that this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice. If you need assistance, please consult a qualified expert.
Hello, all my creepy little weirdos out there. Welcome again to another episode of Horror, History, and Haunting Podcast. I'm your host, Christina Spencer. And if you don't know me, I'm a parapsychologist. I'm working on my master's degree, and I am your tour guide through the realms of the supernatural, the paranormal, and the just plain weird. And tonight on this wonderful Wednesday, I have a wonderful guest for us. She is the host of Unturned Pages Podcast, and she is a professional photographer with Behind the Stories Within Photography. She's drawn to the paranormal, haunted locations, and the spiritual side of life since an early age. She turned her lifelong fascination into storytelling that explores the unexplained on her podcast. And let's welcome Jenny Davis. Hey, Jenny, how you doing? How you
Hi,
doing?
how are you? Good. How about you?
Good. Like I said, dealing with the winter blues. I think everybody is kind of suffering through. This year's been like huge when it comes to mental illness. I think a lot going
Oh
on in the
yeah.
world, dealing with that.
Yep.
How are you?
I know. I'm counting my day. I'm counting down the days until I go to Louisiana in less than 2 weeks, and it'll be like 80
Nice.
degrees, 70 degrees. I'm like,
Ah,
bring me the
I would
heat.
live for 80 degrees. Yeah, exactly.
I
You
know.
see my low
Minnesota just had
70
like
on the beach.
low 50s. We just had low 50s. Now we're back to like 20s and almost sub-zero wind chills. I'm like, this is so not fair. 50 and then we're back to 20s? No, this is not how
Right?
we're supposed to go. So 50, 60, 70s, not 50, 20s.
Yeah, Mother Nature has a hell of a mood swing. That's all I can say
Yeah.
this winter.
Yeah.
If people don't know like who you are, can you give them like a rundown of what you're known for?
I am known for Unturned Pages. That is my baby of the last 4 years. But I had other previous podcasts before that. I'm known for my photography, and I have a nickname in the paranormal field from when I was just getting into it. Is Parastalker. I don't like it. It was one of those nicknames people called me when I first got into the field in 2010, and there's only a couple people still out there that call me that. And I'm like, okay, I've known you since 2010, a little before
You're
that.
good.
You're good.
You're on the good list.
So, because I'm friends with almost a lot of like the para celebrities and a lot of people in the field. So people are like, you're the Parastalker. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm just friends with a lot of people.
Right.
So I go all over the country investigating. I do events. I host my podcast, and now I sell my photography. So
Yeah, that's awesome. I actually have some of your photography pulled up. If you don't mind us sharing a little
Yeah.
bit. Okay. Let me share my screen. And here's some of her beautiful pictures. I'm trying to
that one's
like
done in Savannah,
beautiful photography.
St. Augustine Lighthouse.
Look at
That
that one.
is
That's beautiful.
Randall County Asylum, I believe. Oh no, that's Eloise. That's Eloise too.
Yeah, and her pictures are a lot better quality. This is on Facebook, so don't because I've seen her pictures. They're beautiful pictures.
Thank you.
I just had to snag what I could get here.
Right.
I love this one with the color
Ashford
scheme.
Estates.
Yeah, I love the red, like the rust colored, and then the background black and white. I think it's beautiful.
That is Billy Creek Village out in Indiana.
But she takes these amazing pictures, and they're almost like they're not the stereotypical photography pictures of haunted locations.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a more human, or like if somebody was living there, like an angle that they would experience, which I really love.
Indiana State Sanitarium.
She's just nailing them.
Sedona.
Oh, this is
Sedona.
Yeah.
Which I wish I was there now because I'm like, I want the heat. Sedona again.
I like this one too.
That one is Wyvern Sanitarium up in Salmonac, New York.
Nice.
That one's Ashmore Estates. How I can tell which location? That's USS North Carolina.
Nice.
That one.
This one's a little blown up, I think.
Wright Hill Mansion out in New Jersey. Eastern State Penitentiary. That's Penhurst. I love Penhurst. That is Penhurst in Candyland. I love this photo because it shows the darkness of Penhurst, but also the light side of Penhurst.
Right.
So it's very metaphorically photography. I love that one. Is my favorite one of all of Penhurst. I just love it because it shows the darkness, but also the light.
Right.
That one is Penhurst as well, down in Candyland. Eastern State.
Oh,
Eastern
I like
State.
that.
Yeah. Ohio State Reformatory. I love that photo. It is amazing. That is also Ohio State Reformatory. Amazing location. That is Sachs Bridge in Gettysburg.
Sorry, I kind of blown some of them up so we could see them better, but
Billy Creek. That one I actually laid on my stomach on the ground. Very, like, the camera almost to the ground, looking up the statue to the
that's
church.
cool.
That one is the schoolhouse of Billy Creek as well. That is Alcatraz.
Oh, nice. That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Golden State Bridge. Golden Gate Bridge. The Washoe Club.
Oh, Washoe Club.
Mystery, Winchester Mystery House. That is also
Winchester.
Winchester Mystery. Yep. That's
Ooh,
actually looking
that's
out of plane over Utah. Winchester Mystery House. Annabelle, the real Annabelle. That is Virginia City. Just like, I just happened to walk past a little like deck and saw that. I'm like, I need to make that a photo. The Washoe Club. I love that mirror of the Washoe. I want to take it home. That is the Washoe. That's the poker room where I got a lot of activity. That is Yosemite National Park out in California. That is the Northern Lights, like 5 minutes from my house.
Okay. Well, I don't want to give too much away, but that's a teaser of her wonderful work that you can check out on her website.
Yep, Facebook page.
Or Facebook page, I'm sorry. Let me
Yep, you're good.
get that. Go away. But I know that you're one of the chief spokespeople for the Obscura Paracon. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
So, Obscura Paracon is March 21st and 22nd. It is the weekend before my hair surgery, so I will be up partying it up that weekend at this Paracon. I'm super excited. It's my last free weekend before I'm in a brace and being told I can't do anything.
Right.
But this Paracon is held in DeKalb, Illinois, which is about an hour from Chicago O'Hare Airport. We have Chris Fleming coming. We have Dave Schrader. We have Barnaby Jones. We have Amelia Cutter. We have Sam Beltrices coming. Josh Purvis from Stream Beacon and the Searchers coming. We will have lectures. We will have workshops. We will have a after-hours ghost hunt at the Egyptian Theater as well. Tickets are super reasonable. I'm going to pull it up here just so I make sure I say the right price. Individual days is $15, or you can get a weekend pass for $25. And then workshops range from $15 up to $40, depending on which workshop you take. And then the after-hours investigation at Egyptian Theater is $85.
Yeah, that's really reasonable.
Yeah.
Are you still looking for vendors? Because I know I'll be asked.
Vendors, we sold out in less than 12 hours.
Wow.
When we announced it was me and Billy Atkins, who owns Obscura Paracon and Mr. Billy's Dark Arts and Oddities, was very shocked how fast tables went. I have friends coming from the East Coast, from the South, coming from the West Coast for this event. So I'm super excited. I get to see a bunch of my friends before my surgery, so I'm super excited about that. This event is going to be one for the books, in my opinion. I'm super excited because Billy was part of the paranormal for a long time, and then he took a step back to work on some personal things and other things. And then last year I took him to Ohio State Reformatory and kind of got that bug back into him. And I'm like, we need to do a Paracon. Let's do it. And that's how this was created. And just in the last couple months, we added a new event for July. It is going to be a witches and wellness event, so more metaphysical, pagan, spiritual event. in July in DeKalb, and then we have his Dark Arts and Oddities event in November in the same location too.
Oh, that's
So,
amazing. So you got a
yeah.
full calendar right there
Yeah,
at DeKalb.
I keep telling him I'm going to move to DeKalb, and he goes, "Oh, please no, please no."
We can't
I'm
deal
like,
with Jenny 24 hours a day, 7 days
No,
a week.
I don't think he can. So I just tell him, I'm like, okay, I'll make a monthly trip down. It cost me like $125 to do a round trip plane ticket or a 5.5 hour drive down and back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, but if I lived in DeKalb, I could help you more hands-on than being remote. And he goes, I can't handle that.
That's too much chaos.
Too
I
much
love
chaos, too many ideas, you know. But like the Riches and Wellness event, it is me and his business partner Shuby's baby. Because really, it's like I don't have really any like knowledge in that aspect of things. I'm like, Shuby does Reiki, Shuby does healing. I do oral photography. I've hosted metaphysical events before. So I'm like, me and her could totally make this work. And yeah, he goes, okay, I'll let you two do it. I was like,
because I've seen
you might regret this in the past, but you will.
like your advertisements for aura photography. Can you explain like what that is or how that works?
So aura photography is the energy around you, and the machine I have, you put your hand on the plate and it'll show you colors around you, so it's the energy around you. This machine will also give you your personality color, your chakra levels, your energy levels, and personality information. So it gives you a 15-page.
Uh-oh, we lost Jenny. Let me get her back. Hold on. You blipped off on me.
I blipped off. My internet's like, you cannot talk tonight.
You're selling too much classified information. We
Right, I guess so.
You. We got
When
you
did I blip off?
So with the aura photography, is it's just your hand, right?
Yeah. So it's a biofeedback system. So every time you breathe, every time your heart beats, it'll get a new reading into the machine, and it takes an average at the end of the session and gives you your aura colors, your chakra levels, your personality color, your personality information, your energy levels, and so much more information. It turns into about a 15-page report at the end. That you
that's cool.
I send it via email, so it saves paper and stuff, you know. Save the planet. Save me money on ink and paper, you know.
And shipping.
And shipping and everything. So you sit down with me, it only takes about 15 minutes on the plate, and then we go through your whole report, and you go home with an email with all of that information. I like telling people you could do it within every 4 months or so quarterly of the year, and you can see the change, you can see the growth.
That's really cool. Yeah, because people don't realize a quarter of the year, that's roughly like 13 weeks, and a lot can happen to you in 13 weeks. You can grow as a human being in leaps and strides if you try. That's why I love the productivity book, the 12-week year. Although it's a little rushed, I kind of like Atomic Habits and 12-week year, kind of combine those. Go at your own pace, but make sure you're still moving that ball forward. That's kind of my philosophy.
Right.
But as long as it's a baby step, it's a forward momentum step.
Right. And I see in the chat somebody asked about Myrtle's Plantation. Yes, I am going when I go down to Louisiana. I have a long list of places I'm going to go check out. I have Myrtle's, I have Oak Grove's Plantation. I'm checking out all the crypts, all the cemeteries. Nice. My husband's making me go do a swamp tour.
Don't get eaten by the gators.
I'm spending the night. Yeah, I know. I said if I see a gator, I am going the opposite way. And I'm super excited because on the way home, we get to spend the night at the Haunted Crescent Hotel.
Oh, nice.
I'm super excited about that because it's been on my bucket list. I'm like, we literally drive through that town. I'm like, if I drive through that town, I am staying the night. And it's cheaper than the Stanley Hotel by a few bucks.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Very cool. Speaking, Adam's here. Hi, Adam.
Hi.
Michelle. How are you? Hello. Oh, this is specific for you. Adam says, "Hey, Jenny." And of course, you addressed the Myrtle's Plantation question. He said, "Great photos,"
Thank
and
you.
Eloise Asylum.
Oh yeah, that place is crazy. I wish it. I just saw that they closed the building,
Aw.
so I'm hoping somebody fixes it up or something, or takes it over and reopens it, because that place was one of the most haunted places I've ever been.
Oh, really? All the
Mhm.
places you've been, that one's been more haunted than
It's one of the top ones, that's for sure. Eloise, I was on the top floor, so it's, I think, floor 4 or 5. I can't remember exactly how many floors that building has. And we were outside of the tub room. My friends were in the tub room where the little girl died in. And I was pulled out of the room because I kept hearing footsteps in high heels, which back in the day, the nurses wore high heels,
Mhm.
not like sneakers or anything. And I kept hearing high heel, like the
Click,
heels
click,
of
click.
the, yeah. And I'm like, okay, I know no one on this investigation is wearing heels. Like, what am I hearing? And so I went out and I sat in the middle of the hallway, and all of a sudden I felt like I was being surrounded from both ends, like in front of me and behind me. And all of a sudden my hood of my hoodie got pulled. I almost fell backwards hard
Oh,
enough to hit
wow.
my head on the cement floor. Luckily I caught myself. I was like, okay, yo,
Welcome.
welcome, hi, I'm here. I'm like, don't do that. We're not going to kill myself at Eloise. I'm not going to become a new spirit of Eloise here.
You're going to be one of those haunted tales that you talk about
Right?
on your podcast.
And then later, before we left, I went on to, I think it was the 3rd or 4th, and we were down in the nurses station. The same nurses station, if you watch Expedition X with the Josh Gates and those guys, they were in that nurses station. They kept seeing the female in the glass. I was in that room, and my 2 friends were out on the hallway, and literally I got pushed so hard that I literally jumped and screamed and ran out of the room.
Oh, wow.
And my friend's like, no, that was just me running into something. I'm like, no, if you were behind me and you pushed me, I would believe that.
Mhm.
But that I wasn't jumping because of that sound. I had hands on my back pushing me out.
Oh,
And he goes,
wow.
you ran like a chicken. I'm like, I'm sorry, if you get pushed so hard that you almost fall forward and hit your face on the cement floor, you would be running too.
Yeah, like that's time, like physical violence. That's the time to
Mhm.
check out a little,
Yeah.
and recalibrate your system a little bit before
Yeah.
you go back
And
in.
luckily, it was like just at the end of the investigation. So I'm like, bye, peace out, I'll be back.
I'll be back
I'll be back.
for
But
some
that
more
place is
punishment.
amazing. I love Eloise. Just the history and being in there was crazy, because I have a photo of a full body apparition in the hallway. I had dreams leading up to my investigation of Harmony, the little girl that died, speaking to
Yeah,
me about
Harmony.
how she died, who was there when she died, blah, blah, blah. So I used that during the investigation.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, Eloise is cool. The city around it is a little creepy and a little dangerous, but totally worth it if you could get into Eloise again when they reopen. But it is a great location.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
Now, what first drew you to the paranormal? Was there a specific moment or experience that started it for you?
Watching Ghost Hunters. I was one of those, when they first launched Ghost Hunters, I was intrigued. And then if you ever remember GHI, Brandy Green, she held an event up here in Minnesota called Pure Soda. And she brought Rob and a bunch of other GHI members up. And that got me really interested. And then I went on my first investigation at a hotel here in Minnesota called Grant House Hotel. And that really pushed me into the paranormal. And ever since, I've been all over doing investigations, doing my podcast, doing my photography. But it's funny because Friday, I get to go back to the Grant house after
Oh, that's
12 years
cool.
of being not there. And so I'm like, 2026 has become my redemption year and my revisiting year. So I'm going to go back to the Grant house for the first time in like 10 years. So I'm super excited about that. And then in June, I'm going to Waverly Hills for the first time in 13 years. I vowed never to return to Waverly Hills in 2013 when I had a psychic attack there. But this year I said, screw it. I'm going to go back and face my fears and face whatever that spirit was on the fourth floor in the OR that caused me to have a psychic attack. So this year is my redemption / revisiting years of locations. I'm super excited.
I would be too. It sounds like you've got a lot planned for this year. Like, that's amazing.
And somehow I had to fit another surgery mixed in with after my first one.
If
But
anybody can do it, it's you, because you're constantly busy. So
right?
you'll
It's like
work it out. I have no doubt.
I'll figure it out. I'll be on investigations in the big brazier cast. It's fine. I'll make someone be my pack mule. It's okay.
You'll look like a mummy, but you'll still be there.
Oh yeah. Nothing. I told my mom. She's like, "Are you sure we could do all this with your upcoming like 2 surgeries?" I'm like, it didn't hold me back in 2015 or 2017 when I had my big hand surgery in my other hand. I was at an event the next weekend.
No, those drugs make me too loopy.
Right.
Now, when you first enter a haunted location, what's the first thing that you pay attention to? Because I feel like that's an interesting question.
See, I go into locations as much as possible, even though I watch all the shows, without as much knowledge as possible. So I skip the tours unless they like make it mandatory. Then I'm like, la la la, I'm here, but I'm not listening. Because I'm a psychic medium empath. I don't want to be influenced by people's experiences, history, whatever. Even though I watch the shows, I know some of the history. I don't let that influence me and what I pick up. But I go in. That's when people are on the tour. I like to kind of divvy off and go do my photography. But I like when I first get in, I like to do my photography, take the pictures, walk around, see what I pick up, and figure out where I want to start my investigation. Like at, let's say, I went to the Washoe Club in October in Nevada City, Virginia City. Me and my friend had gone off down the boardwalk and got pizza, and we came back. We came through the front door, and we were greeted with a hello from a female. We thought somebody was screwing with us from our group of people. They're all downstairs in the main bar area, waiting for us to come back. And we're like, why did we not have a voice recorder going? Why did we not have cameras going?
Right.
So I always go with what experiences I had to figure out where I'm going to go first. And at like the Washoe Club, when we heard that female, we're like, okay, we got to start on this main floor above the stairs because that's where we heard the female voice. And that whole night, we were chasing shadows, we were chasing voices, footsteps, phantom smells. It was crazy. Like, if you ever get the chance to go to Washoe Club or Virginia City, take it, because you are literally stepping back into time at that moment.
That's definitely on my radar, because like I've done private investigations, because that's kind of how I got into it, was more private stuff. I was the weird aunt that people would contact and be like, something's weird going on, and you're the only person weird enough that I know that I could talk to and maybe get an answer from.
Right.
And that's how I started. I want to do more, because I've never done an actual like public investigation with like a group of people. I think that would be neat to start doing. So that's something definitely I want to do later on this year. So I'm definitely going to keep a lookout for like your different community events and that kind of thing.
Right.
Now, when you do your investigations, do you think that you approach it more skeptically, spiritually, or like somewhere in between?
I like to mix the two. So I'm very skeptic. I always try to figure out if there was something in that building that would cause that sound. Windows, old broken windows, anything like that. But I also come in with like the spiritual side and the metaphysical side. I kind of feel like I'm like a mini Adam Kimmel. Like he could go down many rabbit holes and try like debunk things. So I try to debunk as much as I can, but a lot of the time when I experience things, you can't debunk it. So I always try to come in with like that skeptical side, but also like with that metaphysical and spiritual side.
Awesome. Now, what is one misconception that you think that people have about paranormal investigators in general?
That paranormal activity happens all the time. Like if you watch a TV show, you see them get activity.
Yep.
That's not how real life investigation goes, because TV shows they film between 1 to 7 days, if not longer, and they have to cut that all down to, let's say, 45-minute show. They ain't going to show you them sitting in the
just
room
sitting around
twiddling
in
their
the dark.
thumbs and stuff. Yeah. They're going to show you activity. So when I tell people, like, well, I will probably tell people at the Egyptian thing, I'm like, they're not dolls. You can't make them perform on call. They do what they want to do, just like we do what we want to do on our own time. You can't make them perform. You can't make them come out and play. It's not like TV. It's not entertainment. So
Most definitely, I agree with that.
and
Now-
they're humans. They're people just like we are, but just we can't see them.
Right?
Like-
And people don't realize, like, especially in public investigations, they are asked the same question over and over and over. Like, what would you do if somebody asked you 100 million times, do you know that you're dead?
Right.
Like, I think I would stop answering after a while.
I would start smacking people.
Right? It's like,
I was
really?
just gonna go to go boom, boom, stupid people, stupid.
Knock it off.
Knock it off. That's
well-
the right answer. Questions.
Getting back to your photography. Now, when you're photographing a haunted location, how is it different from regular photography?
So my focus when it comes to photography is haunted locations, haunted historical locations. I don't do a lot of people photography. I just don't. I find the haunted historical locations more fun to photograph because people can photograph the same thing or same location, but each photographer has a different aspect, angle, feeling. So I always like to take pictures of the places I go, not the people I see. Unless I'm taking selfies, then it's
Right?
selfie time.
Then you're the queen of selfies.
Right? I'm like, selfie time!
Now, when you're taking the professional photography in haunted locations, I have to ask, after you've taken those pictures, have you ever noticed something you didn't see in the moment?
Yeah, so like the full body apparition at Eloise, I did not see it with my own eyes. I don't know. I'll have to send it to you later.
Okay.
You definitely see a full body. You see like the person in front of me like trying to take a step because you see the knee kind of bent, like it's about to take a step. And my friend who was with me when I went up there, because we both ditched the tour. We're like, we've been here before. We don't want to hear the history. He was down the hall, the opposite side, talking to his wife in one of the rooms. So it wasn't him in front of me. And he goes, was that me? I'm like, no, you weren't in front of me. And
Right?
there's nothing
It
here to
couldn't have
cast
been
that
you.
kind of shadow from behind me down in front of me. Like,
Right.
So that one is really good. And then my friend who was also with me at Eloise took a picture of me at the Mackey Mansion in Virginia City. And I had just done an Estes method. And I had come out of the wife's room, because back then men and women didn't sleep in the same room, I guess. They had their separate rooms. And I had done an Estes in the wife's room. And I had come back into Mr. Mackey's room. And I was sitting on the couch, and I'm like, something told me to go into Mrs. Mackey's room to get something. So I got up, and I stopped, because I felt like something was right in front of me. If I had kept going, I would have like
Walked
hit
into
them,
it.
walked
Mhm.
into them or something. And he took a picture, and you see like a person in front of me, and then you see the hand around my throat.
Ooh.
I was like,
Okay.
I didn't see the hand around the throat until somebody pointed it out to me at a different event later. But I'm like, this isn't right. Me and him were stuck in that room for like 2 hours because we're like, if we get up, something's either going to be thrown off that bookshelf in front of us, or like a door's going to slam in our face type of thing.
Ooh, he's
And
aggressive.
we're like,
He's
that
aggressive.
place definitely made us feel like, do we want to continue to investigate the other side? Like, I was about to hang up my paranormal
Really?
belt and not investigate ever again because it scared the shit out of me.
I
So when I
can
go back to
imagine.
Virginia City, I'm not going to go back to that location. Me and him are chicken to go back to that location because of what we experienced in October. Like, that place, like, my spirit guides usually come with me everywhere I go. That place, as soon as I stepped over the threshold of the Mackey Mansion, I felt so, like, naked and alone because my spirit guides did not follow me yet. I was like,
Oh, I can't imagine.
I don't like that. Like,
Right?
why aren't you coming in with me? Why aren't you doing your job of protecting me?
Mhm.
And he felt the same way with his spirit guides. I'm like, something's very off with this house,
That
in this
location.
mansion. So I'm like, he's like, we can go back in May. I'm like, no. Like, I want to go back in and like face whatever happened, but
Mhm.
part of me is like, if my spirit guides aren't gonna come with me, I'm not going back.
Yeah. If you feel unsafe, that's when you need to step away from that location because
Yeah.
I think there's too many people that don't trust their gut, and when something's telling you like no, like we don't want you here,
Right.
and they push it, is when people get hurt, and
Mhm.
that's and I think you did a good job by like stepping out of that because it
Yeah.
could turn like bad quick.
We were supposed to stay until like 4 a.m. I think we called it at like 1:30. We're like, and done. Like, done. Like,
Done.
we get to
I'm
the
out.
point that we're like, things are going to start being thrown at us. We're like, no, we're good. But the tour guide's like, pretend that you're the robbers who come and steal the silver. I was like, okay, we'll do that. I think that's what pissed the
Triggered it.
spirits off,
Mm-hmm.
was because we did what she said to do.
Bless
And
you.
I'm like, that's probably the one mistake we made, was trying to like spice
See, I would
things
have an
up.
issue because I don't believe in instigation because you wouldn't do that to a human being. Why would
Right.
you do that to a spirit? So that's just it's off the table for me to instigate like that because that's what happens. Like,
Right.
wouldn't you get pissed off if somebody come into your house and act like
Mhm.
they stole your silverware? Like,
So at the
don't
Mackey
do that.
Mansion,
It's rude.
Mr. Mackey, John Mackey, was one of the most richest men in Virginia City, along with people who usually hung out at the Warsaw Club and the Millionaires Club. He stored all of his silver in the safe in his house. And one night, 2 people came to try to rob him. He had a security guard in the safe at all times to protect his stuff.
Mhm.
And the 2 robbers came in. The security guy, cop, whatever you want to call him, killed the 2. But they also took a lot of silver out of the house before they came back and tried to take more. So that's what that history is. Like, I think he was protecting his house when we tried to do what the tour guide said, because he's like, do this and it'll spice up the house. It'll make that house very energetic. I should have not done what I did, but I was doing what the tour guide said, and I regretted it. But I'm like, I'm not going back again because I don't want to go back into a place that I felt so like endangered.
Yeah, I agree with that. Now, when you're dealing with your photographer, when you're taking pictures,
Mhm.
because I always like to ask my photographers this question: Now, I know you believe that you can capture spirits on film.
Yep.
You think there's other things that you can capture on film, like emotional imprinting or like traumatic, like residual energy, or do you think it's just like spiritual energy?
I think we could do all type of energy. Um, so with my photography, I kind of do some editing, but I leave it as much as unedited as possible. But like people who look at my photography say you could feel the energy of the building, you could feel the energy of the spirits through the photo. So I totally think that's possible when you're taking photos of a haunted location, historical location, to capture that emotional energy as well.
And like, I know you've been to a bunch of different places. Now, what kind of location tends to have the strongest energy, do you believe? Like prisons, hospitals, private homes, historic mansions? Like, is there a specific grouping that has more energy than others? Oh, we lost her again. The people want to know the answer to these questions.
What the heck? Oh my god. My computer, my internet or something is saying screw you.
It's like, as soon as I ask that question, I'm like, nope, mm-mm.
Nope.
You know, file 404, file not found.
So I'm very pulled towards hospitals, prisons, asylums, poor farms, whatever you want to call them.
Mm-hmm.
Those are where I'm tied to most, and then very historical locations. So I do a lot of prisons, a lot of hospitals. This year I'm doing like Waverly Hills, Hospital on College Hill, doing FCI Madison. I'm doing a lot of hospitals and prisons this year, which I'm super excited about because I feel like those are the locations that I get the most activity in. But I think it all depends with people. It's like what energy you bring into a location as well plays a factor into it. Like, there's a location here up in Wisconsin that I go to a lot called Broadhead Manor.
I've heard about that one. Yeah.
That I happened to find it. I got taken to it by chance, not by mistake. Because I don't like to say mistake, but a friend of mine, we were at a Paracon a few years, like 3 or 4 years ago. He goes, "Hey, there's a new location 20 minutes from the Paracon. You want to go check it out?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want to go check a new location out that no one knows about because it has just been open. Not a lot of people knew about it." And that's how I met the owner, Bill Walter, and fell in love with the building. And now when I step into the building, just to even stop and say hi to Bill and hang out for a bit and not even to investigate, I turn on the spirit box, and the first thing that gets pulled out of the spirit box is Jenny detention. Jenny detention. I hate Jenny. She's a biatch. She's a blah, 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 blah.
Wow.
The principal does not like me.
It doesn't sound like it.
He will make me sick. He will throw things at me. He will make it to the point that I cannot be in the building.
Oh, wow.
I love Broadhead, but I hate that principal. Like, every time I get sick.
It sounds like it's mutual.
Yeah.
Sounds like he comes at you hard whenever you appear.
My friend turned on the spirit box because I had stopped after an event in Illinois. We just stopped on the way back home. Like, hey, our friends are there. We're just going to say hi. And we turn on the spirit box. And the principal comes through. He goes, she's back again.
Yes,
like,
and I'm not.
I love you too, principal. And he'll come through like spirit box because I filmed an episode of Expedition Entity with Larry Eisler there a couple of years back, and it was me, Jenny Coles, Larry, and Dan, and Bill in the principal's room, and the principal doesn't like to be called out by his name, and Bill, it got really quiet, so Bill's like, I'm gonna say his name out loud, and as soon as he said that, the spirit box said, "I will break the girls." Jenny got sick. I got up. I was dry heaving, like I was about to
Oh
get
my
sick.
goodness.
And ever since, it's Jenny detention. I don't like Jenny. He calls me a biatch. He calls me an a-hole. I'm like, dude, what did I ever do to you? And I think because him and the
You must
janitor,
remind him of somebody, like
him and
maybe
the
in his life.
janitor are from the time period that women should be seen and not heard. And I'm a very dominant personality, and I'm very vocal.
Yeah.
So I think when I go in and I'm asking him to show himself or answer my questions, I think he goes, "You're a woman. You should not be talking. I should be only talking. The men should be talking." So I have a special T-shirt from the owner that says, "I did not survive detention." I'm the only one that has that T-shirt because I've never been able to survive a night at Broadhead without getting sick, without getting something thrown at me by him or the principal, without me being called out on the spirit box, me being pushed, anything like that.
Harassed.
Yep. But I can say, once I lay my head on the pillows there, I sleep like a baby because I'm like, if you come near me when I am sleeping, when my guard is down, y'all, we're gonna have issues. Like, y'all don't come when I sleep.
You set up your spiritual barriers before you sleep.
And
Well,
like, it's funny because I can get the best sleep in any haunted location, but at home I'm always twisting and turning. But at haunted locations, I can sleep like a baby at.
Huh. That's interesting because, like,
Unless
I'm a restless sleeper too, and I've always wondered. I'm like, okay, if I go into a haunted place, as you know, active as my ADHD brain is, I'm like, how is that gonna go?
Yeah, I literally can sleep like a baby at haunted locations. Like, hardcore, I'm out. As soon as I put my head on that pillow and I say, "Spirits, you cannot touch me. You cannot interact with me when I'm sleeping. You can talk to my voice recorders that are going, but you cannot touch me. You cannot speak in my ear or anything like that." Then I sleep like a baby.
Yeah, because
And
that was one chief thing, like we discussed on the paranormal panel at MainCon last year, was metaphysical or spiritual protection. And like, it could be just as simple as stating that, like, you are not welcome to touch me, affect my body,
Mhm.
enter my body, go with me. Like, you have to lay it out on the line. And at any
Yeah.
point, like, you don't feel safe or you feel off, that's the point. You need to disconnect, leave the property, do some
Right.
grounding, bring it back in, get your protections
Right.
back up before you go back in.
Like,
So that's good that I'm hearing you do that.
yeah.
'Cause that's,
So, funny story, going back to 2013 when I went to Waverly Hills for the second time. So, first time I went was 2012. I actually ditched high school for a week and went to Kentucky and Ohio to do investigations because I was the student that got all of our schoolwork done halfway through the semester. And it was my senior year, last couple of weeks of school. I said, "Peace out. I've completed all my crap. I'm done. I'm not going to sit in my classroom and not do anything." So I left with friends, went down to Kentucky, Ohio, did Bobby Mackey's in Waverly Hills. Back then, I wasn't open as a psychic medium. I knew I had some type of gift, but I wasn't open to figuring out what they were. And then I went back in 2013 during Paracon for just a night tour because my mom didn't come with me in 2012 and my husband had never been. So I'm like, let's go do a night tour. 2-hour tour, right? No big deal. But I was open as a psychic medium, more open as an empath. And I was fine on the first floor, fine on the second, fine on the third, fine on the fifth. And we were coming down to the fourth floor, and I'm like, something's telling me not to go on the fourth floor. Don't go on it. Something's going to happen. But you're on tour. You have to go where the tour guide goes, right? So I'm like really hesitant to go on that fourth floor where the OR is. But I'm like, you have to go where the tour guide goes. So I went on. I saw the nurse and right crossing the hallway. I saw the doctor. And he goes, let's go down to the OR now. This is where they did the surgical testing and surgical things.
experimentations.
And as soon as I stepped over the threshold, it literally felt like my chest was being opened up and tubes getting placed in my lungs, which I found out way after the fact. That was actually a treatment for TB in the time, was putting
Inflating the
TB,
lungs.
yep, deflate the lungs, open it up to fresh air. And I literally stepped over the threshold. I bent over screaming, crying, because it literally felt like my chest was being ripped open and things getting placed in my lungs. I couldn't move, I couldn't talk, I couldn't do anything besides scream and cry. And my friend's like, did you shut yourself down? I'm like, no, I didn't know how back then. And I'm like, I'm never returning to Waverly Hills. I'm never going back close to that building. You'll never see me back. And then now I'm like, 13 years later, I've grown, I've matured, I've learned a lot. So I'm going to go back this June and see if it happens again. So we'll see.
Right. We were having such good conversation. I forgot about the chat. So I want to catch up a little bit. And Adam's like, ain't nothing stopping you. Right. Yep. Jenny's got it. And he said, good question about paranormal investigators. Great reply, Jenny. Oh, I always do that. I always click the dots. Okay. I was told there was something dark there at Eloise.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. I agree. If you're feeling the energy and it's not good, I would not go back. Hey there, good evening. Tune in from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Hey, Steve. Steve is a longtime watcher. He remembers back in the haunted rocking chair days. Tom, I joined one of your streams months ago. Well, welcome back. I described our ghostly encounter in France. Oh, okay. That's cool. Very cool. I don't mind sleeping in haunted locations. I don't ever want to see something standing over me. That's terrifying. I've had that happen in my real life. Like, that is not fun. And that's part of getting back on what you were talking about, haunted location. That's part of the reason, like, I've stayed clear, because I have this, and I know some people don't get it, but I have this theory that we bring energy into those locations and we charge them up, because it's like it's the same thing that happens with like certain phenomena like Slender Man. I think if enough people, even though it was a make-believe story, if enough people believe it
creates
can create it. So it's like those haunted location, because I believe I'm a little bit sensitive. I wouldn't call myself like a full-blown psychic. I had stuff happen when I was younger and I shut it all down, and now I'm terrified. And that's part of the reason the haunted locations, the public kind of scares me, the public locations, because it's so much energy all at once. So if somebody's untrained, I like to ask this question too, and they are psychic, what advice can you give them when they do their first public investigation like that?
So from my experience as going into it, like my first investigation all the way back in 2010. Wow, that seems like a long time away. A long time ago. I bought crystals for protection. You can literally think in your head like there's a bright light coming down over you, protecting you, or you could just basically say out loud, I'm here to experience you. You cannot touch me. You cannot follow me home. You cannot hurt me, anything like that. And most of the time, spirits should listen to you when you say that. Always have your guard up is what I say. I always have my guard up most of the time. Sometimes I forget to put my guard up, and that's when things get really dicey, but a lot of it just having that mental thinking of I'm protected by white light. If you use angels, if you use spirit guides, if you're spiritual, you can definitely do that as well. Just have some type of protection on you. Is my opinion.
Yeah, because that's what because you basically hit on all the points. Like I tell people when they do private investigations, I always say do a mental check before you do any investigation. Make sure you're not suffering from any depression or mental illness, because any type of weakness like that can cause like kinks in your armor, and you don't want that when you go into an investigation. Ground yourself before you go into the building. Have a discussion with your people. Make sure that they're good to go. And if they're, and be honest, like if you're not feeling up to par, let somebody know. If you decide to move on with the investigation, at least they know to keep an eye on you for any
Right.
unusual behavior or anything like that. And at
Yeah.
any point, step outside, take your shoes off, ground yourself again, you know, put up your protective
Yep.
barriers, whatever vision that helps you. I always do, like you said, a golden light, or like force field is how I
Yep.
imagine it, like a gold force field that, and you state those intentions. And
Right.
at any time, like those intentions are broken, that's when you need to step back and like, I want to communicate with you, but I'm not going to do it if you're going to harm me. So
Right.
if you can't
So
follow the rules, we're going to disengage
definitely.
communication.
So like I investigate with a lot of the same people all the time because over like at first I always have to tell them like when I do Estes, if I'm doing Estes, I only can do it 10 to 15 minutes, maybe 20 max. Otherwise I can get kind of like stuck in that trance slash not trance, but I can't think of the word all of a sudden, but like get stuck when I'm communicating with spirit. And there's ways that I have to get pulled out of Estes nicely and easily instead of being like my headphones getting ripped off my head or something like that. I gently have to be pulled out. Otherwise, I can spiritually get stuck doing Estes and my spirit guides don't come back with me. Because when I do Estes, I channel. I don't really listen to the spirit box. I use that to kind of like zone out and like get to my meditative state. And then I let my spirit step aside and let the spirit of the location or whatever come through and talk. I've had multiple times when people are not so nice when they try to pull me out. Like I was at Eloise with Michael Gagliano from Paranormal on Stream Beacon, and he didn't know at the time how to take me out of Estes nicely.
Mm-hmm.
He pulled Larry Eisler told him, go take your headphones off. And what does he do? He comes up and
And just rips them off.
snatches the headphones off
See,
my
that
ear.
wouldn't end good for me because I
I
have
was like,
PTSD like a mug, and I'll be like,
he pulled the headphones out, and I'm like, I almost slapped him.
yeah.
Dude. And Larry goes, dude, you're not supposed to just pull her headphones off her ears like that. Because when I channel, I go super deep. Like, I just let spirit come through and talk. I've channeled my friends' family members. I've channeled spirits of locations. I've channeled sometimes, like, at the Washoe Club, I channeled someone very historical. And that was really interesting. But I can get stuck in doing Estes. I love Estes, but I have to be really protective of who I do Estes with.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like we said, people bring their own energy into locations.
Right.
And sometimes that energy doesn't match with the energy of the building and the spirits. And if I'm doing Estes and your energy is off, it can affect my Estes and affect how I come out of it and what I take out of the Estes.
And in case anybody at home doesn't know what we're talking about with the Estes method, it's using paranormal investigation. Basically, you have noise cans like my ears that I wear all the time that plays the SB7 in your ears, or
Yep,
a
or
spirit
any
box
spirit
of
box.
some sort.
Yep.
You have a blindfold to kind of make
Like
you
block out,
focus more,
right?
into what you're hearing, and also you're not taking in any cues from other people in the room
Yep.
or anything like that. So you can't hear anybody that's in the room, you can't
You
see
can't
anybody,
see. Yep.
and you're just saying what you hear basically in the S7 session.
Yep.
Now, in Jenny's case, like she's using that because a lot of people do use white noise or some sort of sound to channel or get into that metaphysical space to
Yep.
communicate with spirits, which I've heard people do that with the Estes.
Yeah.
Um, So I just figured I'd take a second to explain that just in
Yeah,
case nobody at home knows what we're talking about. We're
yeah.
talking the lingo.
So I'm very protective of who I investigate with. Like, if it's someone new, I typically don't do Estes unless my mom is with or someone I known for a while that knows how to take me out of Estes and how long I can be in Estes and the warning signals. Like, if, let's say, when I channeled my friend's dad, my whole face changed, my voice changed, my expression changed, how I sat in the chair changed to everything his dad was, how he would have sat, how he would have talked, info that only he would know about my friend. There's like different warning signals with me. If I do that too long, it can produce that attachment or getting stuck in Estes. At one time it took me like 30 minutes to get out of Estes at one point. So I'm very picky of who I do Estes with. I don't do Estes on public investigations, like event style investigation, just because you don't know the energy people are bringing in. So I have to be very like protective and very selective of who I do Estes with and around.
Yeah, well, I can see that because you have to kind of break down your barriers to a certain degree to let those communications in.
Mm-hmm.
And by doing that, you don't know what energy you're letting in. So if there's a negative person in the room, you're letting their energy in, which can affect your read on the space during that Estes space.
Right.
So I would agree. You have to be like a lot of people when they do these type of things, they don't understand the metaphysics.
Yep.
And they're tinkered, and that's how people end up with oppressions and attachments and
I've had
and
attachments and
illnesses. So I completely describe.
Yeah.
Like Tom said here, he says he's talking about he was on maybe your streams like a month ago. That he was talking about many voices in the kitchen, a rural holiday house in France, that he's Belgian. Like a room full of people, very slight voices. I think that's continuing the explanation on when he was on one of your lives. But yeah, wow, that hour went by so fast.
Right.
But we have this problem all the time when Jenny and I, because we can talk for like hours. I suspect seances were held there. It was renovated farm turned into a holiday rental house. Yeah, a lot of that happens, and then then you have other things and open and not closed, and that's a whole different podcast episode in itself.
I know we asked who's one celebrity I would love to take on an investigation. Gordon Ramsay.
Oh yeah, because
that would be hilarious.
That would be because like he puts on a tough guy persona, but in my understanding, he's very spiritual. So that would be interesting to see if he experienced something. His reaction.
It's great because I'm like, I've been to Las Vegas several times, and I always miss him by either hours, days, or like minutes.
Yeah, I had
one of these times I'm gonna run into Gordon Ramsay in Las Vegas
because I tried his restaurant in Baltimore and it was really good. If you ever get the chance to go, the one at the casino.
Oh, okay.
Bolton Horseshoe or whatever casino.
Okay. Yeah, I've done his fish and chips place in Las Vegas several times. I've done his hamburger place, and another one in Las Vegas. And they're all really good. I love the fish and chips one. The fish and chips one is really good. I have never been to Hell's. I've been inside Hell's Kitchen, but I've never eaten there in Las Vegas because they always have a wait list so long.
Oh yeah, like your reservations.
But I saw yesterday Kalani, the ghost hunter, met with him and did a whole video with him. I'm like,
that's awesome. I love Kalani.
I'm jealous of you, Kalani. Like you got to like talk and hang out with Gordon Ramsay, and I'm like, I would have probably been on a puddle on the floor by then. I would probably be like, let's take a selfie.
Yeah, that's the thing that sucks is like I get so wrapped up in what I'm experiencing and like what's going on around me I think it's my ADHD, and I forget about a camera. Plus, I avoid I was one of those kids. Like I was in a bunch of functions in school, but there's no evidence in my yearbook because I
Right.
ditched those with pictures. There was one time we were taking a picture for, I think it was the Honor Society for Votech when I was getting my electronics diploma, and we took the pictures. And as we were getting ready, I went to the bathroom. And I hid in the bathroom the entire time and then came back out at the end. I was notorious for it. And I just don't, I guess it's a generation thing. I don't think about selfies. And I always think, I'm like, I don't know if I want to like be doing that. It's kind of
Right.
weird.
And here I always take selfies because I'm like, you
I
know, if
wish
you
I
take pictures,
would.
you don't have the proof of it later.
Right, exactly. But I
Like,
get so in the moment. I'm like, oh my God, I get to have this conversation with
right?
it. You know, I
Like,
get wrapped up in it that I forget, like, cameras are a thing, and maybe you should
right?
take video and photographs, but
People are like, you should so many pictures. I'm like, because if you don't have pictures, you don't have you just have like the memories
the
in your head.
memory, yeah.
You want to be able to show and like experience it again and have memories of it later.
Right.
But
I need to be
like,
better at it. I'm notorious. I forget that stuff. But when I go to stuff this year, hopefully I'll have people with me that'll remind me.
right? And we gotta get you.
I need a
we gotta
wrangler.
get you to do an investigation with me.
Oh yeah, most definitely. That would be
We'll
awesome.
have to figure that out. But yeah,
Just like me
Right.
going on many investigation I've been on. I really don't go live. Yep. I'm
See,
notorious for stuff like
when
that
I do
too.
investigations, I go live on TikTok because Facebook sucks.
Yeah, there's a lot of rules you have to follow with Facebook.
Yeah, so I
They're
go
very
live on
picky.
TikTok, which is
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
And it's fun because you get so many different people who don't know what the paranormal is, but then you get the hardcore paranormal investigators. And I was live at, I think it was Fairfield County Infirmary last June, and I was live, and I had my laser grid on the floor, and all of a sudden, I didn't even see it until somebody like pointed it out to me on TikTok. They're like, your laser grid spun 360, and then did the other 360. I was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, then I went back and looked. I'm like, oh,
Wow. Okay.
okay.
Yeah,
Like,
so it's like having extra eyes when you investigate, which is cool.
and a lot
I
of
would
people
love
come up
to
with
get my
questions
goat in a paranormal investigation. One of the
Oh,
goats
that would
here.
be fun. Yeah.
Because, I mean, they're very smart. They also have like 360 almost degree vision. They've been used in sacrificial rituals for millennia. Like, I would like to
Right.
see, like, if you brought in a trigger object like that, like to a farm even, what would happen. But
Mhm.
that's me. Like,
So, have you ever watched the show Restaurant Impossible with Robert Irvine?
don't believe. I've watched a lot, but
Let me see if I can find a better picture. So, he came to Minnesota several years ago, and I got to like actually hang out and talk with him. He's so
that's
sweet.
cool.
I was
still
like,
wonder what the voices were talking. Yeah. Unfortunately, like with me sometimes, because like I said, I'm a little sensitive, but I'm scared of that because I've seen some really bad things.
right.
For me, when you're talking about the voices, when sometimes I'll hear things, but it sounds almost like somebody turns the volume up on the radio, and then as soon as I hear the radio playing and try to hear it, it gets turned all the way back down and turned
Yep.
off. So I'll get like two words that make no sense. Like,
Right.
what was that? Like I was in my trailer one time, and it was a woman's voice, and she's like, "Boy, it's busy in here," and it was just me and my boyfriend. I'm like, "What was that about? Like, what do you mean? Like, do I have Grand Central Station going on? What do you mean it's busy in here?" But that's I see what you're talking about, because I'd like to be able to, because I know people are gifted and they can kind of control that volume
Yeah.
and tune in, but then I'm also scared too.
Yeah.
So
When I'm home, I turn mine off, but my kid always grabs my equipment and starts doing stuff in her bedroom. I'm like, River, what do I tell you? You're not supposed to investigate your house.
yeah, don't do it.
And
at
she's
home.
sitting there with the EMF and the voice recorder. I'm like, child, we don't investigate our house.
Yeah,
But
because you
mommy,
don't
I
know
want to do what you do. So she's
Aw.
been on 3 or 4 investigations now, and she's going to go with me on Friday. But she's such a mini me. She always wants to go investigate. She wants to go hang out with the ghosts and all my friends. So I'm very picky with which locations I take her to.
Mhm.
But she loves it.
That's awesome. Like my oldest is more interested. My other two, they're kind of like, I don't know if I want to. But see, mine are all adults.
Yeah, she's turning 8 in March, so I am very picky on where I take her and how much she actually does.
Yeah, you have to be careful.
Mhm.
Protect the littles. Now,
Right.
we've
But
kind
she
of
has
run
the
a
best questions. She has the best questions, so.
yeah. Well, they're more open too,
Mhm.
so they can kind of connect a little easier.
Right.
Now, unfortunately, we ran a little bit over, but is there anything that you want to promote, pitch, tell people that to check you out, your socials, that kind of thing?
So if you're in Chicago or surrounding area, city, state, come out to Obscura Paracon March 21st and 22nd. I will love to see you. We have amazing vendors, amazing speakers, guests. So come out to that. Otherwise, you could find Unturned Pages on Facebook, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, all those places. We are live Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. We have some amazing guests. We are booked out until June. So every weekend we will have some amazing guests come on. Otherwise, you can find me on Facebook, Stories Within Photography on Facebook. You can purchase 8x10s or canvas prints of my photography. But yeah.
Awesome.
Find me on
Awesome.
Facebook.
That's great. And just if you haven't subscribed, why haven't you? Come on
Right.
now. Like, do it. Do the thing. Do the
Do the
likes. Do the
thing.
thing. But beyond that, I just want to thank everybody for checking the show out, hanging out with me for the hour. Thank you, Jenny, for coming on. I know time is one of those irreplaceable resources, so I'm always thankful when somebody's spending a little with me.
Right.
But I want to thank everybody home, and you have a wonderful night, guys. And as always, thank you for watching and sweet dreams. Bye bye, guys.
Bye.